What's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here with another episode of Battle Pirates Crow's Nest No Quarter. This one we have titled The Rules of Enragement because there are a whole lot of people that aren't happy about the new PvP rules. So tonight with us we got Ross Crow.
Good evening, everyone.
We got Stormcatcher.
What's up, everyone?
And we got Derpy.
Hello.
So we still got a couple slots left, so the link is in the chat if anybody wants to jump on. So I guess we'll get right into it and start talking about, before we actually start talking about the changes themselves, how's everybody's face doing? I know mine is doing actually fairly well. I think I've been hit, I think, like 12 times, I think, since all the changes went live, and I'm 11-1 currently.
Yeah, for me, it's basically the same thing. I think I've actually been hit. My battle log's full, so I really have been just getting smacked. I did get beat. I think originally right off the bat when this first started out, and then I had to make some changes. But after I made the changes, I'm doing really well. Being that the style it is, I mean, I got hit with I've been hit with every fleet I can even think of. It's the numbers of hits is just phenomenal. I didn't think about that, I guess, when the changes, I heard about the changes and everything. I thought, I'm trying to adapt to them myself. I didn't really think ahead of time about how many times I'm going to be hit. And so that's just astonishing to me. I think I'm not trying to exaggerate. I think I've at least been hit 30 to 40 times. So it's going well.
I know, I don't know for you, but for me, the first day, it was hard to get anybody to come try your base.
Yes.
The first day, because I was literally pretty much begging people. I was going out, smashing anybody I could find that was worth a whole lot of medals, and, just to get hit back. And it was like crickets that first day, man.
Yeah, I just didn't, the whole thing of the whole change. I myself was a little reluctant. Even I don't like change right off the bat, so it takes me a little bit just to even willing to adapt to it, or even just to see it. And that's what was going on. And I think it was going on game wide. I mean, don't you, in your opinion? I mean, I think that a lot of people were saying they didn't like it before they saw it.
Right. Yeah, to a certain degree. I would definitely agree with that. I mean, I still stand firm, but that what my only complaint about the whole thing was at the beginning is how bad the gatekeepers got gutted. I'll stand by that statement no matter what. It's like at this point, I feel like they should have just gone back to the very beginning where it had its original stats, but it only had the duplicate aura cap of 1. I think that would have been a much better solution than what they ended up coming up with.
Yeah, I tend to agree with the. I'm not really thrilled on. Well, there are several things that I would like changed, but I was one who was really against it originally because I'm a big fan of prepping. I've always been pretty good prepping. That's probably been my best at what I am in the game, in my opinion. Probably not others, but in my opinion, or where I found the most enjoyment in was prepping. So when I found out that was gone, in a sense, I was shocked. So I kind of put that bad vibe out and didn't even play that first 12 hours or that first day, like you're mentioning. And so that was ideally, that was me until I got hit so many times to the point where I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to at least hit these guys back. And so I gave it a shot. And when I found out, just things were changing, things definitely had changed. The performance of my fleet definitely had changed with the new changes in the turrets. So So it's it is what it is, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm trying not to say how I love it or I hate it at the moment because it's still too early for me. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm taking it with day by day.
Like, especially right at this precise moment, there's a lot of positives. Well, there's positives and negatives. Like, to me, one of the big negatives is howlers still being allowed in the base. Because, like, my personal opinion, and I'll get feedback from you guys, but my personal opinion, if there's any half-decent base even that has 3 or more howlers in, you ain't getting in.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you have the upper hand with the howler in defense, but I would like not just to say the howler's gone. No, in truly, I would like to say, hey, maybe the rocket warden or something. What can we get? A medium? Can we get Can we give something else a buff that's not quite there the same? Because we don't need that the ability that it just it's shrouded, that kind of pushed it over the top. Even if we can buff up maybe some defender haul that makes it worth a crap, in my opinion, it would be good.
Well, like I personally, I think that the mongoose was kind of the mongoose heavy turret was kind of supposed to be kind of sort of the replacement for the howler.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I think they were trying to replace it with a turret as opposed to a boat. But I mean, the one positive thing that's going on right now, though, is if you lose in a base hit, it doesn't cost you any medals. So that's a big incentive for people to go out and try the new system currently.
Right, and it actually doesn't cost you any repair if you're taking advantage of the tokens on the map.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Yeah, now we can.
Okay, well, Damnation, I think you're right on the mongoose being a replacement for your howlers. I personally don't feel like I would rather attackers not being able to lose medals also means defenders can't gain medals, and I just wish they had decided what that threshold is for when the attacker loses versus there's just a.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that seem like a pretty big thing to not have figured out before you release it?
Yeah. No, I agree. Yes. It's the whole medal situation is a pretty big thing. It's a pretty big change for people not to understand right now. When I personally realized that I wasn't getting medals for base defense, it was a shocker. And I don't know if that's temporary or I guess it is, or it's not. But it's for right now, we're not getting medals for base defense. So that's rather interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to come out and flat out say, oh, well, we don't know what the threshold is yet to determine between a peak and an actual hit or whatever. It's like, how could you have missed that in all of these testing that you've done? How could you have missed the thing that is probably the most important thing in the whole freaking thing?
That's like the second thing I would have decided right after I read.
Yeah, I would agree. That was probably the second thing I would have decided to. So, but I mean, how's everybody else doing in their base defense? Well, we haven't heard from you, Mark.
Yeah, I'll just let you guys finish. Well, as soon as it started, I slapped a demo squadron, went and hit a load of bases, just to see what was, how it was all playing out. Some are won, some are lost. I've found the ones that had the new mongoose in and the howlers still in. Yeah, very difficult, if not impossible to get in. A lot of those, but I got in quite a few others. Then I got a good hit back on mine from a good player. And he just got in with 5 of the trenches, yeah. just made it in. So I actually spent a lot of time reworking my base, and I took my howlers out because I think we've got to start working towards, bases obviously without howlers, and it's got to work. And every hit I've had on my base since so far has failed. That's been with Warhounds. If you've got trenches, you're welcome to come and have a. My base needs a test, man. I don't mind. This is what this week's all about. We're learning, and I think Kicks are learning as well about how this week's going to work. We've got to build our guards without having howlers in them, and whether we can make viable bases. So if you're still running howlers in your base, really, once they take them away, you've got to rework your base again. So.
I mean, that's to me, that's another bad thing about still allowing howlers to be in for the next. I think they said it was going to be a total of 3 weeks, so it's like 2.5 weeks now or whatever. But I mean, like, how are we supposed to really get a feel for where we're at as far as balance if they're still letting those be in the guard? You know what I mean? It's really hard to say where we are as far as balance if you're still allowing those to be there.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it at the moment. That the howlers don't. I understand you can keep them. A lot of people want to keep them because, well, they're doing the job. They're stopping a lot of players from getting in. Yeah, but this week is a week of testing and just finding things out. And you're not doing a true test if you're still keeping on to something that's not going to be there very shortly.
I know one thing a lot of people are having problems with now on defense is base power because they didn't give us any more, and everybody was pretty much already maxed. And now, a lot of people are trying to go full bore into the tier 9 turrets, and they just eat a lot of base power. I know one thing I myself have started doing is pretty much like because it was you have your 12 heavy turrets, and then you had most people 8 to 10 Drax Scattergun 2s, and then whatever random guys in there. But I've actually started to take out my Drax Scatter 2s just because no more damage than what they do to a hull that has 47 million health or whatever. Just that they seem I would rather actually kind of cut them like 1 or 2 of those to be able to beef up my turrets that do millions of points of damage.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. Just the lower non-heavy turrets, we don't have pretty much a single good non-heavy turret or any that are worth the base power. So I've done that, and then I took my 1 howler out of my guard that I had in and put in the 3rd gatekeeper I just built right before the changes were announced. And people with 5 Warhounds, if they're a good player, they get in my base pretty easily. If they're a bad driver, they die really easily. I guess that's what I'm noticing.
I mean, I took my howlers out, so
Yeah, you better straighten your ass up.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I took the howlers out. I've been hit by what I call some reasonably good players, from Pops 1, STS 7, and they didn't get in, with Warhounds. That's why I'd like to be tested again with trenches to see how the base works, because it's not a full test or even trencher basilisk mix, whatever you've got. I want to see if the base is working, because this is all about testing. Yeah, I think, as you said before, Damnation, it would have been nice if they'd found a bit of more of a happy medium on the gatekeepers. I think they nerfed it just a little bit too much. If they could have just found added another 25% back to it or something, yeah, I think it's just a bit too much of a nerf on the gatekeepers as it stands. But apart from that, the base has been holding up reasonably well until I get another couple of tests. We'll see what happens. I was asking for a few last night on World Comms politely, but nobody was coming along for some reason. So,
yeah, I know. I intentionally jumped and landed in the middle of DSCS because I'm like, well, if anybody hates BPL, it's those guys. So, and like, dude, I was there for a good while before I finally got it. I hit on my base. It's just like I said, that first day, it seemed like not many people were willing to go out on a limb. And I'm like, you're not losing anything if you lose. Why are you not going out on a limb?
Well, I said I had the demo squad on, and I had my pun twos just keep autoing the 95s, like, you know, just to keep getting more tokens, repair tokens, you know, like flip, go back to base, quick free repair, back out again, you know. I know some people were telling me that there were people repairing on the map, and I thought, well, that's just crazy, but you can do it for free, you know.
There's some people using Grease Monkey crews right now, and I don't understand why.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
might be for the increased, like, quote unquote defenses or whatever while they're hitting, and that they get more damage, their hull get better.
Right.
That could possibly be for that as opposed to the extra, you know, half repair time.
They
I
really
don't roll enough Grease Monkey crews to use them for not.
Well,
use them
but
for
there
base.
are some people who, like, I guess that's like their full-time job is rolling for crews. Like Watchman, he's got like 25,000 grease monkeys or something in his back pocket.
and I didn't use one because I'm smart enough to repair for free.
No, but there is some nice benefits from that crew, and they are it's one of the greatest crews out there. I mean, as far as benefits, and so I think that's probably why I have been seeing some people use it also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, has anybody had anybody red bubble them yet?
No.
I got red bubbled by one guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got red by a few.
I haven't been hit yet, so now saying this, everybody's going to be looking for me.
All right.
I mean, nobody, everybody else in my alliance around me has been hit. I haven't been touched, so I don't even know what. The last time I got hit, I got walked with warhounds. So that's about the only thing I can say is that, yeah, warhounds can probably walk through. I don't have any howlers. I'm hoping to get some more heavies in and move my base around a little bit. But other than that, I don't know what the heck to do. And Ross, stay out of my base.
I was looking you up. No, I was kidding.
So, I mean, what are the things that are going on right now that we know aren't supposed to stay that way? Because, like, of course, defenders not ever getting medals on successful defenses is not supposed to be that way. Not losing whenever you hit base, not losing any medals whenever you fail on a base is not supposed to be that way. Currently, right now, the base is getting fully repaired. Even if you get totally smashed and you just have to repair your guard, that's not supposed to stay that way. Am I missing anything? Or is that the three big ones that we know about currently?
And the howlers won't be in the God Fleet.
Well, right, the howlers,
Yeah,
but we already discussed that. So.
The tokens.
There is an issue with red bubbles not working 100% properly. I'm not going to say it how live on air, but the Kickside does need to fix something with regards to that.
No, you mean how when you can red bubble somebody and they can just hit you back all willy-nilly as many times as they want?
Not quite.
Well, it must be an even different one then, because I've heard that one a couple times.
I'll tell you at the end.
But and then I also think, well, I do know that the tokens things are not going to be there to stay. I wish they would. The targets, they're not going to give out the PvP repair tokens.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously they would be nice, but I'm not really going to complain too much. I finally have my dual repair queue, so if I actually want to go PvP, I don't have to look at my PvE, like hours and hours and hours of repair and be like, nope, can't do that.
I agree. But hitting the target for repair tokens is pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and also, of course, if you don't have howlers in your guard fleet, you can use the defender repair token to repair your guard fleet.
Yeah.
If you did get your base broken, you know. Like,
Right.
I'll be honest. What I'm liking right now, even more than the tokens that we're getting, is the fact that I can hit one titanium target and be full. I'm loving that. I am absolutely loving that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, about the titanium, because of course the 95s before they were only what 30. As I said, if they was to drop that down afterwards, I know it's 500 now. If they drop that down to say 100, I think everybody would be happy with that. You'd only have to hit 5, because you know you have to hit say what 3 of the SSRBs to fill up with base parts. Normally, you have to hit. If you want to max out with uranium, you have to hit 4 of the other side, the SSRBs. So if we had to hit 5 of the 95s, I think that would be acceptable, rather than have, at the moment, currently you have to hit about 16 or 17 to fill up, which is,
I'd be even willing to say, even if they just doubled what the 95s usually pay out, I'd be okay with that.
But I think if they made it like 100,000, so it was 5 targets, that would be more in line with the others, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'd be happy if it was 60K, and then I could hit 5 and have 300. I don't ever do anything that requires more than 300 at a time, unless I'm building a mountain or whatever.
So that's one little thing would be nice to ask for them, if they could increase that afterwards, to bring it more in line with the rest of them, you know.
Yeah, I would agree. So, what are you guys finding works well in your bases? What are you finding it's like, oh, yeah, I can get rid of that? I mean, my gatekeepers are still working somewhat. I mean, not there. In my personal opinion, they're still not where I would like to see it be. I think they went a little too far with the nerf bat there, but I mean, Gorgons are doing okay. I actually have a countermeasure siren in my base, which I actually kind of really like. All my heavies are now tier 9s. I've managed to finagle enough base power to do that and still keep my 3 bastion walls somehow. So, yeah, I've kind of gotten away from any turret that wasn't tier 9. And yeah, I'm actually, like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way my base is performing currently.
As I said before, mine's holding up pretty well. Yeah, I still think they nerfed the gatekeepers just a little bit too much. You know, the first gate is going down a bit too fast for my liking. And until I have a test with a couple of other combination fleets, I can't give a full opinion yet, you know, because it's only been Warhounds that's been coming in now, and they've not been. Warhounds have been failing, yeah. So yeah, maybe if you've got a great Warhound fleet, yeah, try me, you know, because I want to see if it works. But I think, the gatekeeper's been nerfed just a little too much. They just need tweaking up a little bit again, you know. Not a big amount, just a little bit, you know.
Well, what do you think, Ross? What do you find that works and what doesn't work?
Yeah, for me, the gatekeepers don't work, but they just are. When the howlers still unfortunately are working well, but I went back and I'm going to just say that I pulled out some old hauls, and I found that some. The curator, I pulled out a curator. I got some benefits out of that old haul. I'm finding the warden is still beneficial. I'm liking the warden. I'm trying to come up with some damage possibilities. I'm really doing well on the counter, and I like defenders for their counter ability, but I really think they're lacking in their oomph. They just don't have the power that I want. So I'm trying to come up with something for that so far. The gatekeeper just doesn't do that. You know, it's a different kind of mechanism, and I'm needing something with more offense, not defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running with 2 gatekeepers at the moment, with obviously different times they come up at. But as I said, I'd still like them to just a little bit more powerful, just a little bit more. I think that the problem is where they, the repair rate it was got half the speed that it transfers, and the fact that they only do the gates up to 50%. By the time it's easy for an attacker to kill them gates now. Before from a 50% repaired gate than it would be from an 80% repaired gate. 85%. So yeah, they just need a little tweak back again.
Well, I'm happy that kind of thing is gone, because I was having problems with the duplicate aura cap thing. I would rather have that looked at instead, and possibility, so I mean, it could have some strength gained back, but yeah, I would like it tweaked a little bit, just to get some use out of it. Otherwise, I have 3 that I'm not using. I don't know what I will be using totally yet, but I'm hoping they're looking at it and see that we still needed some defender help, and that's my truly opinion is we need a little bit. Maybe I hate here's me saying this, but I guess maybe offer me an upgrade in a defender if you're not going to give me a new one.
Oh man, I'm gonna fly to your house and smack the shit out of you for saying that.
I hear it. I know it. But you know what I mean? I just don't want to be. I understand the mechanics, and it's going to be really fun for some when everybody can get beat. I still think you can. I don't know. I don't think the howlers in the guard totally stop it. I think maybe limiting. I guess it does stop it when you have 3 to 5. But
Yeah, you can get by if they only have 2 sometimes, but if they got, in my personal opinion anyway, if they got 3 or more, you're back. But I would also say this. I would also say anybody who is not starting to phase howlers out of their guard at this point is doing themselves a huge disservice, because in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, when you're not able to use them at all anymore, you're going to be standing around scratching your head going, I don't know what to do now. Like, always try to be thinking forward, not just taking advantage of what's good this exact moment.
yeah,
Exactly.
I totally agree.
You mean you're supposed to plan ahead in this game?
So, well, yeah, apparently a lot of people still haven't figured that out yet. So I like to try to point it out every now.
I think the ones that might have the howlers in their bases, they are trying to stop getting beat, so they can continue their builds if they got something building. I mean, the ones that have to work and all that, if your base gets hit, it starts repairing, and you lose. It starts
Actually, currently, you don't lose any repair time at all, because everything auto repairs right now.
Yep.
Like 3 seconds auto repair.
even if you lose.
Even if you lose.
Okay, I thought you might have had to hit hit repair.
Nope.
No, if your base loses Storm, the only thing that you have to repair is the guard fleet. And if you don't have howlers in, you can do it with a free token.
Okay, that's
now. Granted, I do believe that's only supposed to be around for like a month. I think. I think after that, it's going to go back to the way it always was. If you totally get flattened, but for right now, yeah, your base auto repairs if you get flattened. So.
Okay. That's one kind of a small minor complaint that I have. Your guard fleet.
There are some.
You have to have it in your regular repair queue. Okay. Now during, the raid, pillage, or even bounty or something like that. When bounty's running, you're trying to run the FM. When pillage is running, you're trying to run the FM and stuff like that. Okay, if you get hit when you're trying to repair your pillage fleet or your raid fleet and all that. Why can they not put the guard fleet down in the Conquer repair queue, or let it have its own repair queue?
Well, I can answer why they can't put it in the Conquer repair queue, and that's a real simple answer, because they're not Conquerors.
Okay, but why can't they make it a Conquer Defender repair queue? Make it a double repair queue.
I mean, I guess because there has to be some kind of downfall to getting hit and getting flattened.
Yeah, and they actually.
Yeah, they need to make money somehow, and I don't know about everyone else. But my guard repairs in an hour and a half, so it's not like it's a 12-hour you need to spend repairing instead of your Victorians.
Yeah, I mean, if I've been
20 minutes of repair on your guard here, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes there, could you get a 36-hour bubble?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got 36 minutes, 36 hours, and you don't have to repair your guard fleet straight away. You can carry on with what you're doing, and then stick your guard in. You can ride that bubble out if you want. Then no one's going to be hitting you again anyway. Yeah, and then you can repair it with 2 hours left. Of the bubble. Yeah, and you can carry on doing whatever you want to do up till that time.
Okay.
So I don't see it as a real big issue at the moment. There are other things that need looking at more than that.
Okay, well, one of the reasons why I said it's kind of something. Well, maybe not. Never mind.
I'm noticing a couple other game errors. One I just witnessed. There was I just watched a base with 100% flattened, and they have no dome. So that's another one, and I've seen that a couple times. So that might be out there too.
Yeah, that happened to my wife's base yesterday. Actually, she got hit, and then she got hit and lost 3 meals. Then she got hit again and lost another 3 directly afterwards by the same player.
Right.
And if you lose, you should get a dome, surely. You know what I mean? You should get a bubble, yeah. So yeah, that was odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still a few glitches out there, in that respect.
Well, I mean, but let's be honest. This was a huge update. Did any of us expect that it was going to go through glitch-free? I know I sure did.
No.
I thought we'd have way more than this. I mean, seriously, way more. I mean, the metals is pretty serious, if that's what it is. I don't know, but because the defending, a lot of people you need something for defense. I don't know how to work that myself.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. If they would take away gaining medals for defending on a regular basis, I would totally quit. Totally.
I don't even care about medals. I just want to see if I can build me a good base set, be able to withhold. I really just don't care about medals.
It's not even the medals themselves so much that bother me as much as it is the fact that it needs to cost them something if they fail.
Yeah.
And for people whose ego is all about getting the medals, the best thing to take away from them is the medals.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, well, I suppose when you look at PvP at the moment, I mean, the medals is the only system. Even though you can't buy nothing with them, you can't do anything with them. Having 1,000 medals doesn't buy you any more than having 250. Yeah, but at least you could say, "Oh, look, there's me with 700 medals or 550 or wherever you are. I'm a consistently good player, or I do quite well at this game, and it kind of shows. Unless, of course, you've been living in a bubble for the last year, yeah." But it's the only measure really that you can have of that. Oh, the other glitch as well that was out there that we didn't talk about, the dead bases. Yeah, they're going into a dead base and losing 19 medals.
Yeah, there's a real easy workaround for that one though. All you got to do is retreat before the combat starts and before you kill anything.
Okay,
and that takes care of that.
Yeah.
Although I think they fixed that anyway, so it's not even a thing anymore.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if they had done or not, but I thought I'd just put it out there.
So I don't know. What else you guys got on PvP that you want to talk about before we move on?
Not too much. Just want a few more base tests, to be honest with you. Apart from personally, you know what I mean, just to see how things are working. I spent a lot of time working on the base. I'd like to see how well it works, you know. And I think this week everybody should be spending plenty of time on their base without howlers in, you know, because it's a free week to do it or so, you know. You're never going to get a better time, guys.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, like, get hit as often as you can and go out and hit as much as you can because it's free with the tokens right now. That's, you know, this is the time to do it. I know I've been going out finding people out there like 49 medals, worth 49 medals to me, just to go hit them and be like, oh, yeah, I really suck at base hitting, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but even if you're a PvE player, you're not, you know, this is a great chance to go out and try your PvE event. You can't lose anything, your PvP event. You can't lose any medals. You're going to get a free repair. You know, if you was nervous about hitting before, now's your chance to try it, guys. It's free. And you got nothing to lose, you know.
But you do have to go back to your base and use the tokens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and for most people who are generally PvE players, that's not a big deal anyway because they were never coining repairs on the map for PvP anyway.
Right.
And you've got bounty coming up next week, so, you know, get as much practice in as you can.
Yeah, I mean, if you're worried about looking like a noob by failing, don't worry about it because guess what? There's probably like 25 other people that hit that base that you're getting lost in the battle reports anyway, so they don't even know anymore who won, who failed. Well, they probably know who won, but as far as who failed, they don't. They well track of that. You're just blended in with the other 25 scrubs at that point, so don't feel nervous about it.
That's totally the truth.
Yeah.
Unless you're one that's live in action in world comms, you know. Other than that, you're safe hitting right now. People aren't even going to call you out for poor hitting. I have had some issues with controlling fleets. It's been about a month long. Not all the time. It's not even related to my lag in game. It's a very strange issue. Certain bases I seem to not be able to target in. It's truly not me. It's not on my end. It is a game issue. It's been going on for me for quite some time, but I can't narrow it down. And it doesn't happen all the time. And it has happened to me a couple times during the event. See, and I hear it mentioned here and there on targeting. You know, they don't have targeting. So, but for the most part, the release has gone so much smoother. I mean, I was expecting bases to vanish, you know, not repair, base guards to move, you name it. Just all gambit of things ran through my head. And
you get flattened and your buildings get deleted instead of destroyed.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I just didn't know. And we do know that this is Kickside, so we were up for, I mean, I was prepared. Go ahead, Storm.
Now go ahead and finish, and I'll ask my.
So I'm just saying, I'm in the overall. I'm going to say it's going smooth overall. You know, I'm not trying to nitpick. Is the reason?
Has anybody? I notice I haven't because I haven't really been trying yet. But has anybody been hearing any reports, just out of curiosity, they might be having these glitches on HTML5, but they're not having them on Flash or vice versa? I think I've seen a couple of people saying something like that, but I don't remember.
I haven't seen it so much related to this PvP update myself. I know I saw it related during the raid. It was definitely part of the stacking issue in the raid, where the Flash players were not able to get their fleets to stack there at all, but the HTML5 people didn't seem to be having much problems. But in the PvP update specifically, I haven't seen much difference between the two different platforms.
No, I haven't noticed any differences either. I've flipped between the two. The only reason I went back to Flash is because I started getting a lot of black screens in HTML5, only on the map, the sea going black, and it's a bit disconcerting. Well, as soon as you hit a base, you go into the battle server. It was fine. It played fine, but it was just the map view. They've still got a problem with black screen, or black water out there.
Okay, I was just
one of the big problems I have in HTML5 too is with the fleet health bars not reflecting, not showing what's actually going on. I don't realize how much I looked at those, like the bar for the fleet health and the base health, like they don't move.
Yeah, you're correct. That's the other thing they need to look at, because it's very difficult to know how much damage your fleet's actually taken or took. Yeah, so if you're at the base,
yeah. I kind of had that problem when the FM came out. I went in and hit a 136. My health bar didn't even move. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna get done with this with map repair. Came out and everything. I had like 2 hours and something minutes, and I'm like, wow, really? I thought I had hit the 136 with little to no damage, but no, it's 2 hours and something.
No, it's a Kickside FM target. You should have done. You weren't going to get map repair out of that shit. So speaking of the FM, that was one cool thing they did. Put heavy transformers and heavy turrets in the FM. To kind of help a lot of people who might be behind get up to speed. I like that they did that. I still have a big problem with like their damage to point ratios that are going on right now, and just the overall FM itself. I mean, it's kind of crazy right now. The 141, which is the top target, we actually get the least amount of damage, and the 2 newest targets they came out with that actually pay out less points, we've gotten more damage than what we get in the 141. Which means, the 141 is the next one going away, and we'll get replaced with something else, and the damage in the FM is just going to be through the freaking roof at that point.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. The 136 gives out the least amount of points for the most damage.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have been on them about the FM just needs a complete look at and overhaul for probably like 3 months now. But, it's like I have a feeling that my observations are falling on deaf ears most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to just kind of hit a load of 141s before we go to bed, let them repair overnight, hit a load more again in the morning, come back a few hours later, hit a few more, do about 3 times a day that way. You can do it twice during the day and then once at the end of the day. If you've got nothing else repairing, you can get it done in a couple of days with that little routine, as long as you haven't got other things repairing,
Yeah, like a guard fleet.
Like a guard fleet, for instance. Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty happy with the situation on the repair on the guard fleet. I hate to say it, Storm, but it's got a half repair already built in that slot. You know what I mean? And so I'm good on that one. But the weekly situation is not a good one, because that's, in my opinion, that's the one event that almost needs to be a give me to all players, to availability to gain all prizes in a grind throughout the week. All prizes need to be really available and not so huge of a point area that they can grind it out by hitting the lowest target on the map in time. I don't know if we're getting in that range right now with the points that are needed, but I guess it is. It sure is just a huge amount of seat time, and I just don't think that's expected week after week after week.
I'll be 100% honest, and I've been telling this to them them this for the past couple months too. I honestly feel in all aspects of the game, like whether it be raids, pillage, bounty, the FM is actually where I feel like I'm struggling to keep up, believe it or not. And that's like totally ass backwards of what it should be.
Well, it should be like this. What I believe. The FM helps you get tech in order to build your fleets and everything. So that should be easy. Okay, the next step up is pillage. Pillage is always supposed to help you get caught up and all that. They've always said that. Bounty and the raid should be the top hardest things to do because, okay, base hitting, of course, with bounty. And they're coming out with conquer holes and defender holes. Okay, they should be somewhat hard to do. Raid should be also because you're trying to get the next hole or better tech and all that too. But pillage and FM should be the easiest events on here to help everybody get what they, FM to get the tech they need for their bases
Well,
and stuff like that.
I'm going to say that I like what they've done to some extent. That they're putting prizes, i.e., like the heavy transformers and things in the FM because it gives people a chance to get them that might not have had their raid fleets built, for instance. Yeah, but they've got Praetorians built. But it's the amount of points that you need to get, the amount of grind that you've got to do to be able to get them. That's the issue of how much time you've got in 1 week to be able to get all those points, for a lot of the players. Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm saying, like Damnation said, the FM, you feel like you're struggling in, so it ought to be, you ought to be able to get your points and everything a lot easier instead of just sitting and have to grind.
Yeah, like I have this week, I have hit 20 of the 136s, and I got all the chests, which are like 200 points, 4 of each armor, and if I want more turrets, or the heavy turrets, say, I'd have to go hit probably another 20 to get all the heavy turret stuff. So it's really, really a lot of grindy.
Yeah, I mean, I take nothing away from them that they put it in there. At least the option is there to get them, and that's good. If you've got the time or you've got the ability, you can get them if you didn't have them. Yeah, that's a good thing, But it's just the amount of points that you need to get them.
Yeah, thank God when it comes to the heavy turret stuff, the only thing I'm missing is one Hellmouth thrower, and I'm not using them at all anyway, so I'm not too worried about it.
But I was talking to, I've spoken to a few players that have recently returned to the game, and they're still playing a lot of catch up. And we kind of said this in most of these events, i.e., pillage, and obviously the raid, that they should virtually put everything in there. That's been available, especially all the specials. There's a lot of specials that only got released once or twice, and people have trouble getting hold of those specials, especially for base weapons if they've been away from the game for a couple of years, because they haven't released any for ages. But because the rest of us that have got it, we can just click that already owned tab, and we don't have to troll through it. But if you want something, you will search through that and look for the thing that you need. So it doesn't hurt them to put everything out there for everybody, every raid.
Well, some of the stuff that I'm missing is the stuff that came out when we had the SSRBs when we first started hitting them. I've only got a few of those specific items because I really didn't have a fleet that I can run through them real good. And I've heard from some players, I'm not saying who, some of the tech that came out with the SSRBs is still pretty useful, but there's a lot of us that can't get it.
I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think most of the stuff that's relevant in the current game, I think they have been trying to put that in like the pillage and raids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they have done, and I think they've been doing a good job. But there's obviously, from what I've heard, with returning players, they're still missing certain specials that they haven't seen them, and they've not been available. That we've got in our turrets, or we've got on our buildings, even in our base. And that's a vital part of your base defense that's missing for them.
Yeah, and like I said, I could be totally wrong on that because since I have all that stuff, I really don't keep a whole lot of track of the stuff that I don't have and what gets put in, or the stuff I already have, what gets put back in, or whatever. But I do seem to remember seeing some of those ones that, in my opinion, were key and good ones get added into other events here and there. Honestly, what they should do is just those old time-limited campaigns that you do when you first come into the game. Just like update the shit out of those, man. And you can put all that tech in there, and people can have access to it at their leisure. But I know that's something we've gone on and on about for probably like 4 years. So obviously they don't give a shit.
Yeah, as I said, but I just don't see any reason why they can't put almost everything in. Now, I know, all right, not everything. They're being almost an overload, but for those of us that have got, I have got all the specials and everything, fortunately, and I know, and probably Ross has, and Damnation you have, and probably Derpy as well, but we can always tick that little box. It takes away all those other, we don't see that. We don't have to trawl through that. We just take what we need, yeah. But
I would be perfectly happy if anything I had that was in the prize list, it just didn't show up, period, and I didn't even have to take a little box. But that's my pipe dream for the day.
Yeah.
Hey, Simba.
Hey, how is everybody?
We're good. Glad you could make it for the last 8 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got off work.
So what are you thinking of the new PvP stuff, what you've experienced so far?
I'm actually enjoying it. I like that you get the chance to go in and try the base 3 times. I'm not so sure that I don't like that you gain medals when you hit bases, but you don't lose any if you fail.
I personally, I think that's just a short-term thing for like the first week, so everybody can have a good chance of testing things out without shifting the medal standings extremely a lot. Is my opinion of maybe why they've done that.
Yeah, I think it was to get encourage people to engage in PvP, to get them hitting bases and try it out. Because a lot of people maybe were still in fear of maybe losing their medals or failing. And this, at the moment, you have nothing to lose.
The whole medal pool is now that's days gone by. You know how they used to say they couldn't give you medals if you lost them in a ticket because the medal pool will be affected. I don't know but that was a common answer from support on any ticket on medal issues. And I see that this is just generating. We're just medal wacko right now.
Yeah, well, let's be totally honest. The medal pool thing was just a big mess in the first place, and that was a bullshit answer.
Right. It was. So,
I mean, me, I'm like, I'll call a spade a spade. I don't care. What are you gonna do? You gonna ban me for telling the truth?
right. So,
bing.
Yeah, right? Don't ban me for telling the truth. They'll just quiet room me for a little while.
Yeah, that happened to me once for the first time. I was complaining about something that I thought made sense, and
yeah, it's hey, at least you weren't in there for like 2.5, 3 months like I was. So
you were in the quiet room for 3 months.
Oh hell yeah!
I was in there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well,
that's a naughty step.
Chris used to have major issues with me and the way I gave feedback because I didn't sugarcoat it. But he's moved on and he's doing other things now. And Gilly's usually, she knows what I mean, that I'm not always necessarily politically correct in the way I word things. It's like, you know, I might not word it correctly, but it's always accurate feedback, whether you like it or not. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, anybody got anything else? We got like 5 minutes left. I guess I should go find the.
Be careful not to hit dead bases. You
They
lose
fixed
metals. Okay,
They
did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fixed that yesterday at some point.
I wasn't sure.
No, I mentioned it earlier as well. So I'm glad that's out there that people know that it's been fixed again. Then, you know, because it'd be quite frightening on Monday if everyone started going out losing 19 medals every time they're farming all them level 80 dead bases, you know, for their rally points. They found out they've lost like nearly 100 medals, you know.
So I guess real quick, I'm going to go over BP next week. Because as we all know, Bounty is next week, Bounty number 32. And we're going to have the campaigns for Judgment Day, I See Heresies. If I'm correct, that's the one for the Punisher MK2s and the one for our current Zealot fleets. Is that correct, Derpy? You're usually a good PvE guy to back me up on whether I'm correct in that or not.
Let's see. High Seas Heresy, that's for Zealots, yep, and the Judgment Day is for Punisher Mark IIs.
Correct. And then Tuesday we'll get the Bounty briefing, and that's where we're going to see what the new Hellswarm hull is all about. And apparently it is a mortar hull that has built-in UAVs. So that should be interesting.
It's a 2-for-1 combo.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what all our Conqueror hulls have been. So,
Isn't it explosive?
well, last I checked, mortars were explosives.
Yeah, it's an explosive one, but the UAVs.
The UAVs are probably going to be whatever they want them to be.
I
They
thought
might be explosive, they might not be.
No. But could they detect the actual gatekeepers? I think someone was saying something about that.
I don't know. We won't know till we see it.
Okay.
And then, of course, the update will start Tuesday at 9 p.m. kicks time. Then Wednesday, we got Bounty starting. This is going to be an interesting Bounty, let me tell you. Because the Howlers in the guard, still being able to be in the guard, are going to put a whole interesting thing on this Bounty. Oh, wouldn't that be terrible if Kix put Howlers in their guard for the Kix employees basis?
Oh, freaking hope not.
I'd right.
Just like, I wonder if we'll probably be seeing gatekeepers in them from the beginning, unlike last time. Well, I mean, they put them in last time, but then they relented and took them out. I'll be surprised if they relent and take them out this time. So then Wednesday, we also had the CM diary. And then Thursday, they'll be doing the contest winners. That's for the Battle Pirates Beat Machine contest. I didn't even look at that, to be totally honest with you. So that's what we got coming next week. Anybody else got anything else, or are we going to call it for this week?
It's about all I got. I don't have anything new myself.
No, that's about it.
No, good.
Yeah, get out there and hit bases, guys. Get your practice in. Bounties next week. You know, and it's free. Nothing to lose.
Come here, buddy. Come on.
All right, well, I'm going to call it there. Thanks for coming out and watching us this week, as always, guys. We appreciate your interaction over in the chat, and we appreciate you coming out and supporting us. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe if you already haven't. And we will talk to you guys next week, and we'll be talking about Bounty and the interesting Bounty that will probably be. All right, later, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.
Have
Good luck,
fun.
all.